National Health Insurance Authority's claims of releasing 135 million cedis to settle outstanding arrears owed.
It's a whole strategy to mix up the system. Look, we are well awake. We are very much awake. And anytime we must sit up and do what is needful.
Stay with us for details of these and more stories coming your way in the next half hour. Remember, the bulletin is live around the globe on citinewsroom.com, on YouTube and on Facebook. You can find us on Citi 97.3 FM. Across the country, we are live on a number of affiliates in the Western region. This is Adrimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Sky Power 93.5 FM in Takrady, Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady. In the Bunu region, this is Green at 95.9 FM in Sunyai, Ashanti region, Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Revival 99.3 FM in Tajewu. In the Hohoi, this is VOV Radio 95.7. In the Northern region, you continue to Radio Bimbala 91.9 FM. In Upper East, Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. And in the Upper West, Tunsong 97.3 FM and Jirapa 96.1. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
We're grateful for your company this afternoon. Now, this afternoon, let's begin on the labor front. News just coming in is that organized labor has called off the strike that they declared over the sale of shares in SNIT hotels. Our correspondent Anne Shelley is live at their meeting they called this morning, and she joins us with some updates. Good afternoon, Anne.
Good afternoon,
What is organized labor saying? Have they indeed called off the strike, and why?
Yes, so this morning, organized labor did indicate that they would have a meeting on the strike, and they will get to the public on their decision whether to call it off or to continue. So we got here to the Trade Union Congress in Accra, but they met in camera. They didn't allow the journalists to be around when they had their meeting. But after about a while, they finished and they called the journalists and others to come in to address the press. And from the General Secretary of Trade Union Congress, that's Dr. Yauba, he did indicate that organized labor has called off their strike and they are given SNIT 1 month to address all their concerns.
So actually, we do know that some people have already started this action. There are some doctors who are not working today. There are some teachers who are not working today. What does this mean? Are they going back to their posts as the strike has been called off?
Exactly. So they did mention that by tomorrow, all the groups should return back to work, whether teachers, whether doctors, any of the groups that are affiliated to the Trade Union Congress or the organized labor. They are supposed to resume work tomorrow since the strike has been called off.
Very well. Thank you so much. And Shelley is our correspondent who is bringing us live updates from that organized labor meeting. And the news is that they have called off the strike, but work will fully resume tomorrow. Now, let's stay on this subject because the Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has indicated that its main reason for terminating the sale of a 60% shares in 4 hotels to Rock City is the objection of organized labor. Well, let's go back to Yauba, who is the General Secretary of TUC, and he spoke to the media briefly. We'll come back and play the SNIT insert.
Our demand for the termination of the process towards the sale of 60% of SNIT's shares in the 4 hotels. In a letter dated 12th of July 2024, with reference number BC-12-07-2024, SNIT informed organized labor that it has terminated the sale of 60% of its stake in the hotels. At an emergency meeting held today, Monday, 15th July 2024, organized labor has decided to call off the strike. All all workers are requested to resume work on Tuesday, 16 July 2024. We are giving SNIT 1 month to engage organized labor to address all outstanding issues related to the management of our pensions. Otherwise, we will advise ourselves. We thank all the working people of Ghana and all organized labor groups for their support. Solidarity forever. Thank you.
That's the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, part of Organized Labour, Dr. Yauba, speaking to the media. But earlier today, we spoke with the Director General of the Social Security National Insurance Trust. We do know that they've suspended the decision to give up the shares of the 4 hotels to Rock City. Here's what he's been telling us.
The main reason that SNIT terminated the process is that we listened to the objections from the stakeholders and we decided to terminate the process. If you will recollect, what we said when we had the press conference was that we would continue to engage all the stakeholders. And indeed, we've been engaging them ever since this issue became a public matter. And that engagement has been continuous since then. So, I think that we've come to the point where the unions have been very vociferous in their objections, and we've listened to that.
After the preferred bidder was chosen, which was Rock City, we went into a negotiation process. It was the management and board of SNIT that rejected the terms of payment. Let's make that very clear. It was the management and the board of SNIT that rejected the terms of payment.
Well, Organized Labour also demanded the dissolution of the board and management of SNIT, but Director General Kofi Bosompem Osafo-Maafo says while such calls make for a healthy debate, they are unfair given its performance over the years.
I think you target its universities. So let's talk about how one would manage a portfolio. You cannot manage a portfolio without doing anything. Something has to be done. We just have differences in opinion in how we arrive there. And that in itself is healthy. We helped recapitalize the banks, and we just didn't even do it in an ad hoc manner. We picked specific banks that we think we thought would bring shareholder returns and reinvested in them in 2019 during the banking crisis. So I guess the point I'm making here is that if you look across the trusts and the assets that we manage, if you look at our operations, if you look at all the other aspects that we are responsible for, a significant change has taken place. Significant.
So I think this is your response to the
at the end of that and our attempts to improve the portfolio. Because of that, the university teachers think that that is the wrong procedure. I think that is not fair.
Meanwhile, Mr. Osafo-Maafo has assured Organized Labour that the board and management will continue to listen to their concerns in the operations.
The management and the board of the trust will continue to work very hard to manage the assets that have been that we are responsible for. We would continue to manage those assets prudently and manage the risks within those assets very prudently to achieve the best of our return, or the best returns longer term. It's about prudent management and making sure that we improve the performance of the whole organization over the long term. I think that they would be aware that SNIT has indeed improved, and we are going to work to improve it further. I think that is the message that we have for Organized Labour. We are listening and we will continue to engage. I think that is the main point. We are listening and we will continue to engage.
Kofi Bosompem Osafo-Maafo is the Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. He was speaking earlier this morning on the City Breakfast Show. Meanwhile, a Labour analyst, Austin Gama, is urging the government to heed calls for the dissolution of the board and management of SNIT to restore public confidence in the institution.
We don't need SNIT board composition the way it is now. We need to have representatives who are mindful and have the capability of ensuring that strategic decisions are made about the investments and also police the return on the investments to ensure that people who retire benefit from the reason why they have contributed in the first place. And it should be clearly understood that the money, every peswa that is sent to Senate, belong to the contributors and not government. It's very important. So if they can get together and agree that never repeat this kind of mistake again, I think that we should not be wasting state money. We are misusing the money to the detriment of the people who are contributors. So this should be a bitter lesson to not only government for today, but from January 7, 2025, whoever becomes the president of this nation should take lessons from this and not to repeat this kind of mistakes again.
Austin Game is a labor consultant. Well, despite the strike being called off, you know that today the impact will still be felt. And so the strike today has affected court operations heavily today. A visit to the High Court revealed earlier this morning a rather empty parking lot, which ordinarily would be filled with cars of lawyers and litigants. Now, even though the courtrooms were opened, all of them were empty as staff and judges were not present because of the decision of the Judicial Staff Association of Ghana to join the strike. Only persons actively seen within the court were police officers and internal security officers. Well, for the universities, the University Teachers Association of Ghana says its members have not yet commenced the nationwide strike declared by organized labor, which has subsequently been called off. According to Professor Eric Abavere, the president of UTAC in KNUST, the statement released by the association was intended to notify the general public that negotiations have begun with its members regarding the decision to strike.
The power to call strike is in the hands of the general members. This is how UTAC carry out its steps to striking. 1. National Executive Committee. In fact, the national leadership will consult the National Executive Committee. These people together will then determine whether or not there's a merit in the decision by the national leadership. And if it is, then this National Executive Committee, making up the various branches, will take the matter to the various branches and then engage the local members. And they will determine whether or not there's merit for the intent of going on strike. And if there is, they will then vote. Then on the basis of the vote, coalition will be made, and if it is happened that it's more than the formula we all know, 50% plus one vote, then it means members unanimously agree that they embark on strike. So for now, on the release that we brought out, we have only just started. We have never called. And in fact, in that process, we must notify NLC. And so nobody should sit somewhere thinking that UTAC has embarked on strike or UTAC can just within a certain period call on strike. No, that is far from it.
That was the president of UTAC's KNUST chapter, Professor Eric K.K. Abavare. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. When we return, body of a driver with a slit throat found in Wa in the Upper West region. This has heightened fears among residents. We'll tell you more shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
The 4th edition of Ghana International Product Awards. It's here, happening on the 19th of July, 2024 at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, the largest consumer-based review event, guiding consumers on the best products, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, importers, and exporters in Ghana. This event is powered by KN Unique Communications, a subsidiary of KN Communications Group. For more information, give us a call now on 0303-979-996 or 0576-914-055 or visit www.gipawards.com.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's bring you some more stories related to the labor unrest today. And the Secretary of the Trades Union Congress, TUC in the Volta region, the Volta and OT regions, Edith Afenu, has assured workers that the union is committed to fighting for their pension rights. In a Citi News interview, Afenu stated that despite SNE's cancellation of the hotel sales, their strike will continue today.
Assure workers in this country that we are going to continue to fight for their right, because we are all entitled to pension. We want to make sure that our pension is protected. One day, as you are here, you also grow up and then you get to that stage. Thankfully, I am older than you. It looks so I'll be getting there before you people will get there. And so I must also secure my future as my pension is at stake now. We have to do everything possible. You can attest to the fact that what is happening is not the best. Look at the head cuts and all that is going on. So we will not allow it to deteriorate any further.
You heard Edith Afenu, she's Secretary of the Trades Union Congress in the Volta and OT regions. Meanwhile, at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, patients who traveled from far and near were told to wait in queues. One of the stranded patients spoke to Citi News.
Okay, I came here in the morning. They said they give me number, said that they told me that I should wait for 11 o'clock or to 12. Then I should come. So I go and sit here. When it is 11, I came here, they said that I should wait for some time. I don't know what is going on. It's affecting me because I have spent all my time here. Because I'm sick, that's why I'm here. It is affecting me. If I'm not sick, I will not come here. It is affecting me.
You had a stranded patient at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital speaking to Citi News. Now let's bring you one of our headline stories. Some residents of Wa in the Upper West Regional Capital are threatening to ban politicians from campaigning in the area if urgent action is not taken to halt the killings of innocent citizens. The threat comes after another person was found murdered in the early hours of today. The death brings to 14 the number of victims so far. Now, some of the residents who spoke to Citi News say they are living in constant fear due to the killings and are unwilling to entertain any politician until a solution is found to the menace. Our Upper West Regional Correspondent Latif Mahama joins us live with more. Latif, good afternoon. Can you provide us with more details about the recent murder that has heightened tensions?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all our listeners. And this morning at about 7, we got a call that another person was found murdered at Dobili, a section of Wa. So those who know Dobili, off the NIB junction towards the Wa Central Market, to your right. And the funny thing is that this killing was done less than 300 meters away from the Dobili police post. So just close to a popular hotel that we used to call a Lambert Hotel. That's where this one happened. And when we got to the scene, indeed, dozens or hundreds of residents, particularly from the Dobili area, had turned in disbelief to catch a glimpse of the scene. And so a lot of them who were around the body were finding it difficult to believe, considering the fact that where this driver's mate was killed was just by a house, by somebody's window. Apparently, somebody from that house who spoke to us indicated that They arrived from Accra with salt, and they were waiting to discharge the products just this morning. And so she called the driver's mate that the place wasn't safe. He should come inside and sleep in her room, but that she didn't oblige and decided that he was going to sleep by the car in order to take care of the car and its products. And so it came as a surprise to many in the area that from nowhere, these are travelers. They are not from Wa. They had traveled all the way from Accra to Wa later in the evening. We are told between 6 and 7. The driver parked between 6 and 7.
Right.
And just this morning, this thing happened. So a lot of the inhabitants here in Wa are finding it difficult to believe. The irony of it, if I may say, is that just on Saturday, residents of Wa demonstrated against these killings. And so many people are thinking that it appears these people are daring the residents. You remember when the IGP came to Wa here, the night he came to Wa, the people killed another person. So it appears that anytime the residents or leadership is trying to give a warning, these people will strike. And regrettably, today's killing adds up to the 13 others who were killed. You remember some few weeks ago, 2 persons were also killed in a similar fashion. And so it has kept fears in residents here in the Upper West region.
Latif, I know you visited the police station. What have they been saying about this killing and the others that happened some weeks back?
The police are tight-lipped by way of coming off with information. But as a layman, I can see that the police themselves are helpless. They are becoming helpless because when I got to the police station, my source indicated that a team had just arrived from Accra. Indeed, I saw 2 pickups that just arrived. And so somebody told me that those persons were just coming from Accra to assist to unravel the perpetrators who are behind these killings. But the regional police headquarters, they themselves are talking about that. It appears that they need help at this point.
Before I let you go, what exactly are the residents demanding from authorities?
Those we spoke to at Dublin, where today's incident happened, said that it appears that leadership is not interested in the security of the town because since 2022, these killings have been going on to the extent that there are some days they will kill 2 people and they still cannot find a way to stop it. So they are saying that if these killings will have to go into the elections, a lot of them will not feel secure to come out and vote. And so even ahead of the elections, they are not willing to meet any politician on the matter. A lot of them are also of the view that the IGP should resign because it appears that he is unable to find a lasting solution to a pertinent issues like the killing of human beings within the Wa town. So they are saying that the IGP should resign.
Thank you so much. Latif Mahama is our man in the Upper West region, bringing us details of the death of another person, bringing to total 14 people who have been killed in the area. Let's move on to some other stories, but still on security, and 13 persons have been arrested by the police for allegedly failing and developing on the Laboma Teshi military shooting range sections of the Peshi Lagoon in the Ladade Kotopo municipality of the Greater Accra region. During a visit to the site by the Greater Accra Regional Security Council, most parts of the Peshi Lagoon had been filled for development with structures at various stages of construction mounted. Now, speaking to journalists, the chairman of the Accra RecSec, Daniel Nikwate, titles Glover short of the demolition of the unauthorized structures in the coming days.
To get the right people who owns these properties around. They are some are ordinary workers. When you ask them, they said they were sent to come and do the job. So immediately we pick them. They are in the hands of the police. they'll go through the process, and whoever sent them to come and work, they should produce them. When they produce them, they'll be given bail. Then the law will take its course. For now, this one is closer to the patient. This particular one will pull all down. There is one when we are going out on your left. They are building right at the edge of the patient. We'll put that one too down. Then at the far end, close to the shooting range, that one too will go down. Then we'll see what we can do. We invite everybody to come. And we want to know who sold the land to the people, because my traditional leaders are saying that they haven't sold any land to anybody. Because they told them that they only want wooden temporary structures, but not permanent structures. So they should tell us who sold the land to them. Then we can know what to do about it.
He had the chairman of the Greater Accra Regional Security Council, Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Clover, while a member of the La Traditional Council, Ni Ejekofe IV, denied offering the sections of the Peshi Lagoon, urging the Accra RecSec to halt the development and expedite steps in pulling down the structures.
Destroying the environment, developing haphazardly, not going according to the planning scheme that the assembly even has, building without permits, and disregarding the authority of the chiefs, the regional minister, and the MC. It is even a disrespect to the whole La Township, because people are calling on us to take action, that things that are going on here are not right, and that their conduct is not good for the well-being or the development of La. So we have written to the regional minister that he should take steps to close the beach immediately, and then all structures that have been built without the necessary authorization and permit should be pulled down, and those who have failed the water bodies should be dealt with according to law.
You have a member of the La Traditional Council, Ni Ejekofe IV. Now, the Private Health Facilities Association of Ghana has described as false claims by the National Health Insurance Authority, NHI, that an additional 135.6 million Ghana cedis has been released to healthcare providers across the country. According to the association, the authority only paid some health facilities. In an interview with Citi News, General Secretary of the association, Richard Frank Toblu, who expressed his anger at the development, cautioned the NHI to desist from politicizing the scheme.
The strategy they have adopted is that when they owe 2 months or 3 months, they jump the months behind and pay the months in front. So it will look as though they have paid the current claims. But if you go back, there are a lot of skipped claims that they haven't paid. So it's making the whole thing better. So you cannot precisely tell which one they haven't paid, which has not been paid. Because if you say that you are paying claims for, let's say, June. Now, you left claims for April, May, and then you come to pay June. Now, so the issue is, I now have to go back, put all the previous months you haven't paid together. Instead of you to go and pay, let's say, May, then I know that you are supposed to pay June. You won't do that too.
You have the General Secretary of the Private Health Facilities Association, Richard Frank Toblu. And that's how we wrap up on today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. For more stories, please log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Ajuatin Kramadom. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.